you go. Watch this, everybody. Look, look, look.
And you slide it up. Now here, I have another question. This is really technical for you. Should I pack as much flour as I possibly can into this?
No.
No, why?
Because it's an old, right?
There'll be too much flour, and we don't want our recipe to come out being like too dry or pasty. So actually, because flour has a tendency to settle, the particles can settle. Have you guys heard about houses settling, or like sand will settle? Those types of things, they become very compacted. Flour will do that the longer that it sits in your cupboard. So you should stir it up pretty good with your spoon before you put it into your measuring to kind of get some air in there and break up those particles. Then you put it into the measuring cup and measure it off. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, we do that for all. What's the only exception to packing these ingredients? There's one ingredient that generally will always tell you a half a cup of packed what? You guys know?
Have a go.
What is it?
What did you say?
There's one exception to dry ingredients that we always pack in a recipe.
Can y'all figure it?
Egg. Nope, not egg. It's a dry ingredient. It's usually sticky too.
Butter.
Syrup.
Mm-hmm.
Closer.
We are getting closer.
We're getting close.
What kind of sugar?
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar, that's right. Please raise your hand for me. Brown sugar, generally in any recipe, they're going to tell you to pack it into whatever measurement that you're using. Okay, now if we're measuring using a liquid measuring cup, how do we make sure that we have the proper amount?
Read all the labels that's on it.
Yep, we want to read the labels. So let's say I need a half a cup. So from where I can see this right now, this looks like half a cup to me. Tell me if you agree. Is that half a cup? Okay, he says it is. You say it's not. Why do you say it's not?
Read the rules.
No, half a cup.
Oh,
Is, not a full cup, a half a cup.
I didn't see that. That's right.
Yes.
It's not mentioned in the shop price.
Okay, so we want to. Do you see what he's doing when he's reading this? What is he doing? He's making sure that his eyes come to eye level with the line here. Okay? In science class, have you guys learned about a meniscus yet? You guys know what a meniscus is? Can you tell me what it is? When water lays flat like this, it forms what's called a meniscus. And that is basically, it can, depending on which angle you're looking at the water, it can look like the water is dipped in or is kind of has like a bubble on top of it. So if we're not looking eye level at this, the meniscus can trick us by thinking that we either have more or less water than what we actually need. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you guys see if you can tell the difference. Like, try to get eye level with it and then bring yourself up or lower and see if you can see that meniscus that I'm talking about.
When you look up like this, off you go
Yeah, that's exactly. Can you see it from there? You want me to bring it closer to you? You can see it? Okay.
I saw it.
You guys can see it from the back too?
I couldn't. I didn't.
You did it. Let's start here then, we'll bring it around. So that's why it's really important that when we're measuring, we make sure that we have proper measurements. Also, when we're baking, we really need proper measurements because everything has to be in the right amount. We need it to rise the way that we want it to and bake up the way that we want it to. We don't want gummy material. You guys probably don't like your cake if it's super wet, kind of gummy. That's not the way cake's supposed to be, right? Right, but you don't want it to be super dry like bread either because that's not the way cake is supposed to be, right? Right, what are you looking for? Do you see what I'm talking about? When you look, you see the bubble? Depending on which angle you look at, it looks like it's either bubbling over or bubbling down. You see that? But when you're eye level with it, and this, I don't think this is exactly 1/2 cup, but when you're eye level, you see how it looks a little bit more straight? Yeah, that's why we want to make sure that we look at it at eye level. Here you go, guys. You guys can take a look. So today, we actually are going to be baking, so that's why we're talking about the differences in how we properly measure things. Okay? You guys see the difference? Yeah. See it, Bob? It's hard. Sometimes when it shakes, it's hard.
Are we gonna call you Ken?
Kind of. Sometimes it's easier if the like we would have had something a little bit more symmetrical and not quite as wide. It would have been a little easier to see. Okay. I stole some of you all's measuring stuff. So, any questions? No. Okay. Kitchen rolls. I might have to defer to you because I don't know who was what last week.
So my head chef last week,
He's gone.
John Beatty was one of them.
I'm not doing it.
I tell you one of them. Hands down. Calm down. The head chef is a very important role, and I need for you all to be able to follow the directions.
Can I be mine?
So, pardon me, I would like to ask Marala to be a head chef. I would like to ask Sierra to be a head chef. That's up to your head chef. Your head chef is going to create the roles for everyone else. Quick reminder, raise your hand if you can tell me what a line chef is supposed to do. What does a line chef do? Octavia.
I think a line